But I predict that a combination of industrial air pollution of certain types of potentially of heavy metals or other types of air pollution combined with 60 gigahertz or certain other frequencies from 5G, densified deployments of 5G, cumulative exposure, even over periods of days or weeks, are going to be able to mimic the symptoms of extreme flu symptoms, pneumonia, and the type of things that are being attributed to some mystery illness. Look, we've had decades of mystery illness that, aside from radical alternative doctors like Dr. Klinghardt up in Seattle and in Germany, I think he practices in both places, these things were a mystery where they were coming from. But this was EMF and non-ionizing radiation, microwave-induced radiation sickness. And this is from cumulative exposure to low-level radiation, not even thermal effects, non-thermal effects from telecommunications technology. And it's not much of a surprise to me, and it shouldn't be to anyone that's paying attention, that these kinds of cumulative exposures are what's really making people so sick right now. And we need to wake up and realize that these particular frequencies that are used in 5G, namely 60 gigahertz, are known for their properties in oxygen transport. This actually came up in the telecommunications industry in point-to-point millimeter wave transmission antennas, because weather and the effects on oxygen, depending on the water content of the atmosphere, affected the point-to-point transmission when using 60 gigahertz. 60 gigahertz is one of the frequencies that's being deployed in 5G technology. So what is the effect of 60 gigahertz when we're exposed in a cumulative fashion in densified deployments of 5G? We don't know this yet, except for this grand experiment that's going on right now in China, in South Korea, and in Italy. Those are three countries where they have had full-scale 5G deployment in certain cities. And if you look at where they're deploying 5G and where people are getting sick, it matches up. Is this a coincidence? I don't think so. You decide. And if you look at the type of exposure, I predict that there's a combination, and I think it's going to take years for this to really come out and in the scientific literature and to be exposed scientifically. But I predict that a combination of industrial air pollution of certain types of potentially of heavy metals or other types of air pollution combined with 60 gigahertz or certain other frequencies from 5G, densified deployments of 5G, cumulative exposure, even over periods of days or weeks, are going to be able to mimic the symptoms of extreme flu symptoms, pneumonia, and the type of things that are being attributed to some mystery illness, some unknown virus or known virus. And we will see, I predict that we will see that we can mirror the symptoms of a particular viral infection, whatever you want to call it, with the combination of industrial exposure, air pollution exposure with certain frequencies and these densified deployments of 5G. So time will tell with those, but for right now, the experiments that we have relate to the China experiment. Over 130,000 both macro and micro cell 5G antennas throughout China. Over 10,000 in Wuhan alone. And then there's other cities that were also significantly affected. The Zhejiang province has 3 cities where full 5G deployment was put up, and all 3 cities all have some of the highest rates of this unknown disease. And I call it the unknown disease because I think it's way premature to just throw some blame at some virus when we know that they deployed 5G, and we know from years of research that these frequencies and this cumulative exposure to densify, we're talking about every 100 to 300 meters there's another cell. And so these are exposures that no one can escape. And that's the difference here. It's inescapable. Anyone living there is going to be cumulatively exposed. And that's where the population tests come in. And in South Korea, over 75,000 macro and micro cells installed, and they have huge rates, over 3,000 confirmed cases of this unknown sickness. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do the math here. We need to really get smart about this and put the logic together and not be fear-mongering on chasing after some virus that we will never see, and we won't know what these tests are that they disclose nothing about. So let's get reasonable and let's stop this where we live, because we really need to think globally and act locally in a situation like this, and get involved with your local community, see who's opposing 5G, and see what you can do. There's some great resources out here. I've talked a lot about the NEPA strategy. It's working really well where it can be engaged, which is really anywhere, because the FCC is not policing the telecoms, and the telecoms are not following the rules, and it's our turn to police them and stop this, because really all these small cells that are being deployed are illegal, and because they're not filing the proper paperwork. So check out the scientists for wiredtech.com and connect with me. I'll help out in any way that I can, and just check out some of the other resources as well, like Dr. Martin Paul. We had him in town here in Eugene, Oregon last year, and we filmed that, and that's posted as well. So I'll put a link in the description to that, so you can check that out. Check out Dr. Deborah Davis. I've posted some videos with her stuff in it as well, and some of that is on knowingthetruth.com. Check out Cece Doucette. She's got some great stuff, and there's so many great researchers out there doing some amazing stuff to stop this. So it's just time to get informed and spread the word, and really make sense out of this madness, and not jump to crazy conclusions like they are trying to promote in the media and get everyone scared of stuff that we can't see and we never will see. So it's all about cumulative exposure and densification, even though right now we're in a position where we only have about 10,000 5G transmitters in the entire United States at this point as I shoot this video, and so it's a great time to put a halt on these telecoms. The FCC is being slammed left and right in the courts, but with any court in this country, it gets dragged out for years, and we won't have outcomes for that. Like with the cigarette stuff, it took like decades for it to all come out. I don't expect anything different with this. It's already been decades. It's just all coming to a cumulative madness level that's really undeniable at this point, and that's why it's a good time to get involved and really just start spreading the word, because a lot of people just don't even realize what's going on, and they think 5G is just like the next phone or something, and it's really not. It's not about phones at all. And even some of the phones that they'll sell with 5G labels on them are just a joke anyway. And people that are buying into that are just getting ripped off anyway. So yeah, check out all this stuff. knowingthetruth.com, healthharmonic.com are some of my resources, and I'll have some links as well in the description of this video. Check me out at healthharmonic.com. Look at the solutions that we've got. Yeah, share and like and comment and all that kind of stuff if you've found this video at all helpful. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.